Stephen Medina here with Training for Life USA, third episode on our podcast. I'm so excited that we're getting these out and we're going to get them to you through YouTube. Okay, so first of all, you see all this stuff right here behind me? Well, this is the guy that designed it. When I first did the video, guys, of what we wanted to do, like I said, I want to bring people in here who have passion for what they do, but they're also good people. And this is just another guy who's a really, really good person, but we're going to go into that. But I just want to introduce to you a very good friend of mine. We've known each other for over a decade. He thinks we've known each other longer, but maybe that's true because I'm getting older. But Ness Hernandez, some of you guys know him from Retro Kings, but there's a lot of people that don't know him, so I'm excited about sharing his story. And basically, we're just going to talk about the good stuff. So what's up, brother?
Let's get it, man. How
you feeling?
I'm good, man. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, when you hit me up, man, it's an honor, man, to be here. You know, I've known you for a minute, and I've always heard it from you that you wanted. This was something that was always in the back of your mind, and I'm just happy that you jumped ship and you're actually doing it now.
And you're doing it too. I mean, and I think we're both in some ways coming out of our shell.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's got a cool podcast called Friends of the Program.
Right.
So you can follow him on Instagram. Are you on Facebook? Not too much.
No,
okay. But
no,
Instagram. And he's already got nine episodes out already.
Yeah.
So guys, you know what? Follow him because you know what? He's a good dude. And I remember when he first wanted to do the podcast, it was something that wasn't new to him. So he was coming out of his shell.
No, it was new to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was going to be new to you by doing the podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
So, and now we talked a little bit ago before this, and he was telling me how he's getting more comfortable. And we're going to go into that, guys, of just basically getting out of your comfort zone.
Right.
And speaking of comfort zone, man, usually you're doing the interview, and now this time you're going to be on the opposite side.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's a little different.
How was that like? And, real quick, how's the podcast going since you've already knocked out 9 of them?
I love it now, man. You've seen a couple of the first ones. I was nervous as fuck, man, and I just like you said, I had to learn, and I'm still learning how to get out of that shell, how to be in front of a mic, in front of bright lights, the cameras, but it's getting easier and easier and easier, and as long as we have good dialogue, my guests have good dialogue, then it makes it easy, but it is different being on this side than being on that side asking the questions, but yeah, man, I'm starting to love it. Season 1's coming to an end. I've got people lined up for season 2, and I can't wait, man. I just every time I do something, I become a student of that particular thing that I'm doing, and I'm constantly learning. I watch different podcasts. I watch just the host, how they interact, everything, and then I stay on top of it, and I do that on a daily basis only because I want to get better. And yeah, man, I'm excited, man.
And if you continue to do something over and over and practice, you're only going to get better.
Right.
You're not going to get any worse. So I noticed you did exactly what you said, because I've noticed like you'll post little stories of you looking at your old podcasts or different podcasts, just trying to get better.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, but let's go and jump right into it. Okay, so his name is Ness Hernandez at the Retro Kings. But Ness, where did you grow up at? Actually, let me back up. Where were you born?
So I was born in El Salvador, Central America, smallest country in Central America.
What year?
I was born in 1974.
Okay.
So I'm about to turn 50, y'all. 50, dog.
Goes by quick.
I came here when I was 3.
Came to Lancaster.
No. Came to LA. Yeah, my parents. So I was born in El Salvador. Within 6 months, my parents came out to California. They moved from El Salvador to California, looking for the American dream. They found work right away. My mom wanted to go back because she obviously missed me. She left me 6 months after I was born. She left me there with my grandparents. you know. So she wanted to go back. My dad's like, no, just, you know, hang tight. Let's figure out a way to get him here, get him over here.
So the goal was for you to have their son live the American dream,
Right.
take the opportunity of this country, the promised land, so to speak.
So those 6 months turned into 3 years. In that time, my brother was born. They had he was born here. He was born here in the States. But man, it was crazy, man, coming, you know, from El Salvador, coming here, everything was so different, man. The freeways, a lot of cars, a lot of people, just the buildings, big building, you know, like everything was just, it was so, and I still remember it. Like, I remember little things. Obviously I was 3, but I still remember bits and pieces of how different it was for me, you know?
Let's go back to that. What really stands out when you think about that? Is there one memory that stands out as a kid that maybe you're like, wow, we're in a different country? Things are different here.
Yeah, it was just, man, it was the freeways, the buildings,
The lifestyle?
No, because I at the time I was 3, so I really, you know, I'm a kid. So for me, what I can remember, it was just how different it was in this new place that I was living, you know. And then yeah, we grew up in LA.
Okay. Up to what age?
I was in the 7th grade. And I remember, man, like, you know, we were right in the heart of MS-13 territory, man. So
What city? LA, but
LA,
what part?
man. It's, you know, Pico, Vermont area.
Okay.
And going to school, you know, majority of us, it was Hispanics, a little bit of blacks, and hardly any white.
Did you mix in with the Mexicans? Because you kind of
No, there wasn't that many Mexicans though, because in the area where we lived, the majority, it was like little El Salvador. It was it just all the Salvadorian people just ended up there. But I, you know, I've always been cool with everybody. You know what I mean? I never had any problems. Just, I think my parents, they saw it and they were like, you know what? I got into b-boying. You know, I got into like listening to music, being out, and then my parents probably thought, man, the next step for him, because we're in such a, you know, there was so much gang activity.
right. We got to get him out.
We got to get him out. And somehow they found a flyer. I don't know what it was, but they saw that homes were mad cheap up here in Palmdale. You know, we came up here, looked at them, and I'm like, I went, you know, I was telling you, like, culture shock coming from El Salvador to LA. It was the same thing coming from LA to Palmdale in '87. Big culture shock, man. Like, it was just, it was crazy, bro. Like everything was so different.
And everything's so much cheaper. That's when this town started becoming a commuter town.
Yeah.
People would live here and then commute to LA.
Right.
And they still do to this day.
Right. And my parents have always been entrepreneurs. Right. So they never ended up doing any of that. We moved out here and they set up shop out here. So they didn't have to do any of the traveling. But yeah, it was culture shock, man. Like moving to Palmdale,
moving from LA to
LA,
out here.
yeah, in '87.
Especially in '87, the guys in '87, there was very few people in the valley at the time. Now there's over 350,000 people in the valley, but out there it was like in the hundreds. Because I was born and raised out here, so I've seen it grow. Okay, so did you play sports growing up when you moved out here? Was anything drawn to you, sports?
Yeah. So right away. I think it was 7th grade. It was kind of dope because when we moved, it was right before basketball season started, and yeah, I tried out. I made the team. You know,
What team was this?
like the junior high, Sage Junior High.
Yeah, so basketball was your sport.
Yeah,
Makes
made
sense.
the team, and then the next year made the team again, 8th grade. But yeah, basketball has always been my sport. Not till later, as an adult, I started playing soccer, and I fucking love it. It's just now it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's soccer, man, ain't got no timeouts, dog. So
It's a good workout, bro.
yeah.
Okay, so you're exposed. You come in from El Salvador. You're exposed to the American culture. You get drawn to basketball. What kind of music? Because we're going somewhere with this, because he's real big on culture. When I think of Ness, I think of shoe culture, hip hop culture. He's an awesome designer, and all this stuff you see he's the one that is responsible for all my gear, all these heavy bags. With our emblem, he created the emblem. But I'm trying.
You don't even understand, Steve. Like, I know I haven't been here for a minute.
You haven't been here for a long time.
But every time I used to, and I will, I'm gonna come back.
You sure about that?
Yeah. I'm
too. We're gonna hold that too.
It's on camera, man.
It's on camera, man.
I'm gonna be back. But every time I've always stepped in here, and I look at those bags, man, like that's the ultimate feeling for a designer, is to be able to see what you've created. And then for you to actually put it into good use. Right. A lot of times I create something.
Benefit from it.
Right. I design something for someone and I never see it anywhere.
No, you see it every day.
Here it's like every day you come in here, man, and you see it everywhere.
Every day it's a constant reminder that if you put your work and your mind to something, that your dreams and your designs can come true.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, any designer, I look at them as an artist. And we'll get into that. I'm trying not to jump into that.
And we all are, man.
We all are.
I mean, it took you. This was an open shell, and you designed the inside of this. How you saw it, and you had the vision for it, and you had it designed in a way where you felt good about it. Right. So in a way, like we all are designers.
And what also realize, you can't design your dreams and your goals by yourself either. Case in point, I couldn't have the cool gear unless I had somebody like you. Right. So, it definitely helps to have people, like Latu, helping us out with these, and now he's helping me teach. So, it's all part of a big network. Right. And like you said, finding the right people who believe in your culture, believe in what you're doing, you know what I mean? So the people who you did, and we'll go into that. And actually, I think we should jump into that now. When you started this, what made you decided to design things, and how do I put the right people in line to get what your vision comes to pass?
I think it was 84, man. We're going to go a little back. Like, I'm going to tell you how I fell in love with just everything, designing. Like just the design, like with apparel, with footwear, with everything that I do.
Can I back up real quick?
Go for it.
When because we all have a gift. Everybody's born with a gift, and sometimes we don't realize that. Sometimes we realize that a certain things happen. You watch something or you write something, and people are like, "Oh man, that's really cool. What did you do?" When did you know you had a gift or something when it comes to design? That maybe I can do something with this. A shoe?
No. Well, yeah, it was a shoe, but it was more importantly, I've always been into sneakers, right? I mean, you know that. And ever since I can remember, I would buy the sneakers, but I wouldn't want the matching shirt. And until I met someone here locally that was screen printing, that I said, man, I'm gonna design my own T-shirt. So I designed something that I thought was cool for me to match my shoes, and that was cool. That was dope to me, right? In the late 90s, when eBay popped off, I was like, damn, this is dope, a marketplace. So I remember setting up an eBay account, and I put up one of my shirts for sale. And the minute it sold, that did it for me.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like,
you knew you had something special.
Like, look, man, like, damn, like it gives me it gives me fucking
you
chills.
You knew there was something special about this.
Yeah, so you're thinking like, damn, someone across the United States just bought one of my shirts that I designed because they thought it was dope, and they didn't mind paying $30 for it. Or actually it wasn't, like with eBay, it was what do you call it? An auction, right? So I had people bidding on this T-shirt that I had up. So that made it even more special for me because I knew that it wasn't just one person wanting this T-shirt. It was multiple people wanting it because they were bidding on it. Right. And then the winner, the person that had the highest bid is obviously the one who won and paid for it, and boom. But it just felt good, man. And then that was it for me.
That was
man.
the spark.
That was it. That was it.
Yeah, yeah. And I
So
bet,
then I knew, going back to your question, is that's when I again, like, I made that my craft, and I started designing every single day. And I didn't get tired of it, man. I loved it. And that's when I knew this shit is my gift. You know what I mean? Because
That's
it
when you
wasn't a
found your
job
gift.
to me.
Right.
So yeah.
There's a difference between your job and your gift. Your job is something you look at. Your gift is something that I really believe you were born with, that comes from God.
Right.
And sometimes it's weird how you find out.
We all have it.
Everybody
You know what
has
I mean?
a gift.
We all have that one gift.
Yeah. And I think it's our job as humans before we die is to find it.
Right.
And to live it. I remember my first time training somebody is like, I would have did it for free. And I was almost like, I can't believe I'm getting paid for this.
It's like the ultimate feeling, man.
The ultimate
like,
feeling,
right?
and to know you would do it for free.
Yeah.
And the reality, somebody's going to hand you money for what you would do for free.
Right.
But
that's when you know. That's when you know it's a gift.
Okay.
Because you would do it for free.
You would do it for free.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, how can you find something you enjoy, your hobby, and try to make a living at it? And I think that flows in what we want to talk about next. What made you decide to open up your own business and get out of that? Talk about coming out of your comfort zone to own your own business when you're probably used to having a secure check, and now you're going to go ahead and dive in and take a risk and fulfill your gift.
Everything that I've done, it's been calculated.
But even calculated is still a risk.
It is, but
It's calculated risk.
But I had a full-time job, and my love for like being an entrepreneur. I gotta shout my parents out for that. They've always been
instilled that in you.
Yeah. So it was kind of easy for me. Like, I look at them, and even though it was like I've always said, like, as entrepreneurs, we ride this roller coaster, right? It's a nonstop roller coaster. And I seen it, but I loved it. I'm like, damn, that's dope. Like, my dad makes his own hours. My mom's making her own hours. Okay. And
so you saw that as a little kid.
As a kid. And then too, man, like, when we first moved out here, I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but it was culture shock, right? Like the kids didn't look like me here. Like, they didn't look like me, like the kids that I knew in LA, right?
Right.
So I'm like, fuck, man, like, how am I gonna make friends? Right. And it was just crazy how it happened, dog. Like, we were at the store, my mom's buying groceries, and I seen these candies, bro. Like, it was like a red, like a cherry ball, and it turns into gum. It turns, right? And I had my mom buy me, like, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a pound or something. So I took them to school, and I was like, damn, these candies are fucking bomb. Right. So I started sharing with kids in my class, boom, like, this is how I'm gonna make friends. Yo, I got some candy. You guys want a candy? You guys, boom, boom. Before you know it, man, like, they're like, the next day, they're like, hey, you got any more of those candies? And I'm like, fuck, I'm out. But it just sparked an idea in my brain, bro. And I was like, I'm gonna tell my mom to go back to the store. I'm gonna buy a big ass bag of that candy, and I'm gonna come back and sell them. Okay. So yeah, man, she took me to the store, came back, and it's like I gave them that I got them hooked, by giving them that one free piece of candy, right? So now they see that I got a shit ton of candy, right, and they're bringing quarters, they're bringing dollars. So this is how I was starting to make money. This is
how the hustle business came in.
That's how the mentality of being a hustler, like, it started from there, right? And man, and then I just fucking loved it, man. It was like, like you create something and you sell it, and it's like the ultimate feeling for you, like, this thing that you created, or this thing that you bought wholesale and you resold it, and then you're making money on it, then you just want to keep doing it. You want to keep doing, it just, it does something to you, man. And yeah, man, so that's where it started. And then in the summer.
So from candy you go into?
Well, so in the summer, obviously I can't sell candy because we're out of school. Right. But during that time, they're building a gang of homes out here, right? The housing market is just exploding out here. Well, back then, it's not like it is now. Like, back then, they used to leave, their nails everywhere. They used to leave the wood, they used to leave everything just there. Well, I used to just take off in the summer. I used to take off with a big ass trash bag, and I used to walk throughout the neighborhoods that they're building, and I used to get cans. I used to collect cans, aluminum cans, and it's crazy, dog. Like I used to I would take a can like this, and then I would add like this much like sand, and then I would smash them, boom, right? So they would weigh a little bit more.
You started living the crooked life that early?
Like, and you know, I don't know, man. It's just, but I did it, right? And again, like in the summer, I couldn't
put sand, bro, in them damn
I'm just being
cans,
real with
man.
you.
Okay,
I'm
no,
being
we're
real
keeping
with
it
you,
real,
dog. I'm
man.
being real
Come
with
on.
you, dog.
Okay.
But you know, and it was just a way for me to make extra money to buy the things that I wanted to buy. You know what I mean? Shit, the thing is, I'm out there in this fucking heat. You see how hot it gets in the summer out here, dog. I'm like, man, I got to make it worth my time. Okay. You know? So yeah, every week, every Saturday, my mom would take me to the recycling place. I'd make $80, $100, you know, and that's just money in my pocket, you know, from doing this extra work. So I started having that hustler mentality at an early age.
So obviously we realized you've had a hustler mentality, but when did you want to start designing T-shirts and then get into the business? Because when I met you, you were over there at the industrial complex. When did you really say, okay, I need to get funded to start my own business? How did that go?
So
with everything that
I always created created T-shirts, had them printed, sold them on eBay. But I never thought of it as being like an actual business. It was like a side thing, right? It wasn't until it was like 2006 or 2007, 2006, somewhere around there. It was during Kanye's first album. You know, I'm already married. We have our daughter. And we're just chilling at the apartment, and I'm in front of the computer. I'm designing, but I'm listening to Kanye's album, and I've always been a Bulls fan, you know, Chicago Bulls fan, right, because of Jordan. And I don't know, man. I don't know how it sparked, but I just said, look, I'm thinking like, damn, Kanye's from Chicago, and you remember he used to wear those shutter shades. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me flip the Chicago Bulls logo and let me just add the shutter shades to the Bulls logo. I did that, and someone at this big, it was a big website. It's called Carbon Loop, and they do like big numbers, right? Someone there saw it and they hit me up right away, and they're like, "Yo, we could sell that shirt on our website." And I'm like, "Fuck, hell yeah, let's do it." Mm-hmm. So then at the time, I think I only had like a dozen of them printed. So I set up the account with them. Boom, boom, boom. I put them up for sale. The first day we sell 15 and I only have 12, right? So I'm already in the hole and I'm like, fuck. The next day we sell 13. The next day we sell 20. And you know, once you start seeing
you get that momentum going.
You get the
momentum going.
And then it's like, oh shit.
Right. Okay.
So then during that time is when I said, and then I was telling my wife, and I said, hey, check this out. Like, look at all these sales. I go, I need to actually turn this into a brand, right? And I said, but what do you think I should call it? And she's like, why don't you call it Freshness? I was like, fuck, hell yeah. So then, yeah, man, that's where Freshness, and you know, Retro Kings was Freshness. And you know, we could get into that if you want, but Freshness started like in 2006. And it grew, bro. Like it was huge. It was a big brand, you know. And then I had a fallout with my partner, and shit went south. But yeah, that's around the time, bro, when I knew like I had to turn my hobby, right, into like an actual brand, and say, you know what? Yeah, let's turn this shit into a brand.
You know, we like to talk about the good, but I'm also, when I did want to start this podcast, I also want to talk about the bad too, the challenging part, because everything thinks that when you own a business, it's so glorious and it's all fun. Let's talk about we talk about the good, but what's the challenging thing about businesses? Owning your own business that nobody talks about, especially on the social media platforms, right. That I really think if we want to be transparent, that we need to talk about the bad as well as the good.
It's not always going to be, it's not always going to be good. Like, it's not always, people aren't always going to.
Rainbows and unicorns.
Right. Like I said earlier, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. Yes. You just have to know how to ride that fucking roller coaster, because there's going to be times when you're like down here, and there's going to be times when you're up here, A year before we broke off, Freshness, we did over $1 million in sales, selling T-shirts, dog. Right. The next year, I'm way down here. I'm working out of my garage. I went from having 18 employees to having 2 employees working out of my garage. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
I know exactly.
So it was that roller coaster that I had to ride. You had to ride it out. And I was down here, and little by little, I just kept going back up, and then it happened again. And, it's just, it's
the wave.
It's never going to be easy, man. Like, a lot of times it's easy to say, I want to be an entrepreneur. And, you really got to have it in you to be an entrepreneur.
You really got to believe in what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. You got to have that passion. 110%. Because if not, it's not going to work out.
110%. Like, you have to be your biggest cheerleader, because if someone else doesn't see it in you, they're not going to buy it.
How many times have you thought about giving up on this, to be honest?
Once.
Just once. Okay.
So it was during that time, I went from being up here, right? Like, feeling on top of the world, 18 employees, doing over $1 million in sales. Everything is fucking working. To the next year being down here, because me and my partner couldn't get along. Like, he's over here, I'm over here. And then we decided to just shut everything down. And then that same year, I separated from my wife, so it was like
your business life and your personal life was starting to.
Right. And man, there was times, I ain't gonna lie, man, there was like a couple days, man, I'm sitting at home with no money in the bank, no money in my pocket. And I'm just like, and as a creative person, you have to find it in you to be creative, right?
Even when you're hitting a wall.
Right. And I'm over here with fucking stress. I can't pay my mortgage. I can't pay my truck. I can't pay my bills. My kids want stuff and I can't afford it. All this shit's going on, right? I'm separated from my wife. I just separated from my partner. So all this shit's just hitting me, right? Left and right.
Storm.
Yeah.
And now you got to get creative.
And I still have to find a way to get creative. And man, I thank my boy Ernie, dog. And I know you know Ernie. I know Ernie, because he would come over. He would come over every fucking day. And he would be like, man, you cannot fucking give up, bro. Like, you have to find something that's gonna get you out of this fucking hole so that you can create, because you can create. You're fucking dope at creating.
So what got you out of the hole?
It was that. I mean,
What, you just grinding?
I thank, no,
You think you had support?
Yeah, I thank Ernie for being there for me, dog, because little by little, again, shit doesn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? Like, when people say like, man, you're a fucking dope ass designer. Well, that shit hasn't happened overnight. It's taken me 20 plus years to become this fucking dope ass designer. Right. And the same thing with that, like, I was in a fucked up spot, man. I was in a fucked up place, man. And little by little, it was like hour by hour, day by day, just little by little, just getting out of it. And before you know it, like little good things just start happening to you. Boom, boom, boom. And before you know it, you're out of this fucking hole, But yeah, it was tough times, man. Like 2013 was like the worst year of my life.
Okay. So with everything that we've been talked about, the good, the bad, the $1 million in gross to only having 2 employees to go back up, what through this experience, what has that taught you? What has life taught you of where you're at now at getting ready to be 50?
First,
give my people some nuggets, some wisdom nuggets, Ness.
First of all, like, be grateful for the gift that you have, right? Once you figure out what that is, be grateful that you have this gift. And again, like, God gives you this gift, but he doesn't tell you, like, he doesn't give you the blueprint on how to go make millions of dollars. Like, that's up to you to go figure it out. He's already done his job by giving you this gift. Okay, so be grateful. And then also you have to be consistent. and you can't give up. Like, trust me, like, as an entrepreneur, you cannot fucking give up. You know what I mean? Because it's just, and most entrepreneurs, they just don't have that in them to give up. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah, those are the top three for me, man.
Determination, faith, which I think it's all similar, and then having your support group like Ernie, having people that's in your corner, and saying, "Hey, man, don't give up. Okay, you gonna get through this because you can't." Going back to what we're saying, we can't do this alone.
Right.
And having the right team, and we talked about that. Okay. All right. So let's switch gears now since we're talking about this. And guys, go onto his website. It's Retro Kings on his Instagram. You can see all of his designs. And I mean, there'll be some life event going on in this country, and that night, dude, he'll come up with something, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, like you have to, dog. Like,
we're gonna go into that in a second. But you know, guys, just like I said, man, I wanted to show tangible instead of sharing just a story. I want you guys to go onto his page and see what he offers. And if you guys ever need any clothes or anything, he's the man, you know, and he's gonna treat you right. Okay, so let's pivot, Ness, because you said you haven't been here in a while. When did you start working out? Going back to helping your mind and your body, when did you start exercising, and how did we find each other?
I think I want to say it was over at Monster, right? You know, my boy was like, "Yo, they're starting this challenge over there." And I don't know if I had already started boxing, but it was. Well,
let's go back up. When did you start exercise? Have you always liked exercise? When did you realize that? Damn, I need to exercise because this helps me deal with my stress of everything that's going on in my life. So when did you start exercising on the regular?
I used to play basketball every fucking day. I mean,
did you weight
basketball? No, just straight up, just hoop every single day. Every day I was playing basketball. But you know, when I found you at Monster and then the boxing, that just fuck, man, I was just like, damn, this is dope. Like, it felt good. Like,
what felt good about it?
It just, you know what it was? It was, first of all, you're learning techniques, right? And then two, like when you're done with the class and you're fucking sweating, that's like the best feeling, right? Like you're like, and there's times when you don't even want to do it and you do it anyways. And then you're sitting there and you're like, fuck, and you got all this sweat just dripping and you're like, hell yeah, I put in some work. That's a fucking great feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exercise teaches you not to quit.
So I think it was around that time. So like 10 years ago is when I, you know, like you said, right? We've known each other a little over 10 years. That's when I got into the boxing, the weights, the going to the gym and all that shit.
Okay. I want to ask you this because, you know, you had a health scare a couple years ago and you said you needed to get back on track. You had some bad blood work. Remember that?
Yeah, and
let's talk about that because there's three things I believe in. I mean, your fitness and your faith are two of the most important things we have in this world.
Right.
And your exercise can really change your health because without, you know, there's a saying that your health is your wealth.
It is.
And we don't realize that, especially as we get older.
100%
so can you share about that a little bit? Because man, once you called me and said, "Hey, man, my blood work is through the roof. I got to get my shit together."
Yeah, it was my.
And you did exactly that.
Right.
So let's talk about that real quick.
My cholesterol, right? I went in and they're like, damn, like this shit is high. Like, you know, what the hell are you eating?
Right.
You know, and
a little scary you a little bit?
Hell yeah, that shit's scary because you know, my mom, my dad died of cancer. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
My mom, you know, 7-8 years ago, she had a stroke.
I remember that.
So then I'm sitting there like, fuck, man, like that's the last thing I need, you know, like. And I felt like I'm still young. My kids are young. Yeah. You know, like I want to see my kids grow up, you know. So I'm like,
grandparent?
Yeah. So I'm like, man, I got to do something. And I think that's when I hit you up and I was like, hey man, look, this is what's going down. Like I need to fix it. And I mean, obviously you're here, man. So I'm gonna hit it hard.
Did it work?
And it did. It did for multiple reasons, not only my health, but my mental health.
Your mental health.
You don't understand what this, like, you can have a stressful day and you come here and you fuck up some of these bags and then that shit just goes away. and it feels good, right? And then you do that every single day, then, you know, it's something about it that feels
Exercise teaches you, it helps you to deal with the stress once you leave these doors.
right. You know, so yeah, man, it was scary. And then too, like, you know, with this COVID bullshit, man, like I ended up in the hospital, you know, and I remember hitting you up like, hey dog, I'm in the hospital. I was in there for like 4 days, and it was kind of scary, man, because it was something new. No one really knew much about it. And I'm sitting there like, and then the scary part was, man, when I was leaving the hospital, the fucking nurses are clapping at me, right? They're like, and I'm like, they're like wheeling me out in a wheelchair. But in my head, I'm like, fuck, dude, like I could have fucking died. You know what I mean? Like, cause they're clapping for me like, damn, you made it, bro. You like, hell yeah, you made it.
They probably knew your blood work and everything.
That was crazy for me because it opened my eyes, because the nurses were like, damn, you made it. So for me, it was like, what the fuck? Like,
Right.
I'm sitting there like, you know, I'm in the wheelchair and they're like, you know, they're all clapping. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is some serious shit, man. And then, so that too was like, and you know, it took a while for me to actually come back to the gym after that that COVID scare. But yeah, man, it was eye opening. You know, I knew that I fucking had to do something. You know, I'm getting older. You know, it was just something I had to do.
And I think we need those wake up calls sometimes.
Hell
Those
yeah.
wake up calls of,
Hell
man, I got to get my
yeah.
life together or whatever. Those scary
Because we
moments.
get comfortable.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you get comfortable
For
with
sure.
everything, and then shit like that happens, and then you're fucked. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, you definitely need those wake up calls.
I think we always get those little, hey, second chance, third chances, you know what I mean? Right. And especially when it comes to your health. So now that you've realized that, so you get where you need to be in your health, and then you feel like you're catching some rhythm, right?
Right.
And so where do you think now, with everything you've went through, and now you've realized, okay, man, I realize that I got to work on my health. I realize that I can't quit, and all these things. So now that, you know, because you got kids now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you got
big
kids,
kids, bro.
Tell me your kids. How old are they?
18 and 16, man. Shout out to my kids, my wife. You know, that was part of it too. Like, you know, they're a little bit older, but they're still young,
Right.
and I need to be there for them. You know, so yeah, man, it's scary. So I you know, like changes had to be made, and even now, like changes still need to be made. You know, when it comes to health.
Right. So now when you impart your wisdom, your experience with your kids, what do you really try to teach them? What's important? You know, because you were telling me that your parents instilled, or they showed, you know, the entrepreneur spirit. Mm-hmm. What do you instill in your kids? Do you kind of tell them that too, or do you go to a different route, or what's?
You know what's crazy, man? I've always let my kids dictate like what it is that they want. Even with sports. My kids have always been into sports. They just fell in love with basketball too. You know, my son was really good at football, and then the older he was starting to get, like the wife didn't want him getting hurt, so then he stuck to basketball. You know, my daughter tried soccer. She didn't like it, you know, so she stuck with basketball. But I've never pushed anything on them. And even now too, like my kids are
Let me ask you this: How come you didn't? How come you didn't? What made you say, you know what? I'm like, because there's a lot of parents that force their kids. They want to live vicarious through them, through their kids' lives.
I've never been like that. Like both of us, like me and my wife, we've never been like that. Even like them being entrepreneurs. Like I didn't tell them to become entrepreneurs. They probably saw it in us, and then they said, that's kind of dope. Like, let me try. And yeah, man, they're doing it. You know, my daughter, she makes floral arrangements, right? And she does really, really fucking good. And then my son, you know, he's like a mini me, man. Like he's into, you know, he's into fashion, but his fashion is crazy. Like he's a perfectionist. And I think he sees that in me with my brand. And then now he's doing it with his brand. You know, and he's a perfectionist, and I love it, man. It's easy, you know, it makes it easy for me to support because it's shit that I love.
And you can relate to it.
I can relate all of that. But even if it wasn't, man, like I you know, my wife and I, we've always been supportive of our kids, whatever they wanted to do. And you know, I didn't go to college. My wife didn't go to college. And yeah, I want my kids to go to college, but if they don't, I'm not gonna be pissed off. You know what I mean? Because that's not the only route. You know, it may be harder, you know, for you know, some of the things, but they're gonna learn other things that colleges just don't teach you. You know, and I'm okay with that. You know, because that's how I was able to do it. You know,
I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier about really finding your gift and using it. And sometimes that doesn't mean we have to go to a college.
Right.
I mean, if you want to be a doctor, you got to go to college. You want to be a lawyer, you got to go to college. But some
you
people
know that that's your gift. Like, you know, you're in school, you're in high school, and you're like you just can't get it out of your mind that you want to be an attorney or you want to be a doctor.
You're going to have to go to school. But I think in the olden days, school was everything, and it's not.
It's not.
No, because there's people on YouTube that are making videos in their bedroom and they're making millions of dollars.
Right. Hell yeah.
Because they're utilizing their gift.
Yeah.
They're chasing their dream. And sometimes society tells you, no, don't do that. Or your parents. And this is what I love about what you were saying. Same with me. I don't want to force my kid to do something that I might want them to do. Because God may have given them a different gift.
And I know parents like that.
I think that's important, Ness. I really do.
I know parents like that.
So do I.
And I hate it for the kids, man.
It bothers me.
Yeah, I hate it for the kids
playing,
because they don't like it.
No.
And they feel like they're being forced to do something that their parents want them to do.
We're on the same page. We're on the same page, bro.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think that's important for people to know as we're doing this.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Hey, yo, I got to ask you, though.
Oh, here we go.
Because I know you're a Cowboys fan, but you had me like I think when you had what's the name on number 2 episode 2, Alan. He was sitting over there, right, a little further than the. I keep turning, bro,
I'm
and
trying
I'm
to
like,
get you to follow the Cowboys, but I don't know if that's
gonna
gonna
wear
work.
my
So I
Raider-
thought I'd do my arrangement.
I was gonna wear my Raider hat
He
today,
caught me, bro.
but man, I'm like, every time I'm like, fuck,
Dude,
I'm surprised you didn't go navy blue in here.
Are you? Huh?
I'm surprised you didn't go navy blue and gray with like the interior design of your building.
Me and you are loyal to our teams, man. You know, and you know your team's probably going to go through the same thing, going to lose every year, just like my team. So you know we in the same boat. But I mean, if I'm gonna, you know, Cowboys.
I'm just saying, why'd you put me so close to this thing, man?
Because
Anyways,
I want you to go through it a little bit.
I
want you to struggle a little bit.
But why even a Cowboys fan?
You know, it's funny because I thought my dad was a Cowboy fan in like 1975 when they're playing the
Thought he
Steelers.
was?
Yes, because he bet on the Cowboys against the Steelers.
Okay. So he was just trying to make money.
He was just trying to make money, but then I just fell in love with him after that. That's when they lost to the Steelers in '75.
Damn, and you still
man.
kept.
It was in the Orange Bowl, and you know what? I'm loyal to my team.
Yeah,
Dude, think it's just
should.
like you're loyal to your Raiders because they're gonna suck this year like they do every year.
Right. Hey man, you know what, man? It's crazy because I'm not a fan like that anymore.
What do you mean you're not a fan?
I'm not.
You're a Clipper fan.
Hold on. Yeah, I am a Clipper fan. I'm a Raider fan. I'm a Dodger fan.
You should be embarrassed to tell people you're a Clipper fan.
No, I'm not. But yeah, I'm not.
Saying,
what I'm trying to say, Steve, is I'm not a super fan anymore. I used to be a super fan. And until like recently, you know, a few years ago, the Clippers, they fucked up my vacation, right? They fucked up my vacation. I'm on vacation with my family, and it's during the playoffs, and my family's out in the lazy river. They're doing all this shit, and I'm in the room watching the fucking game. Or I think at the bar. I don't remember where I was at. And these motherfuckers lost.
It's
right?
the Clippers.
I know, but they lost. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm pissed, bro.
Right.
Like, I go back to where they're at, and we went with another family. It was like this big trip.
Killed your whole trip.
And you know, my boy was like, yo, what happened? Did the Clippers, did they lose to the Raiders? Like, he was fucking with me, bro. Like, just fucking with me big time. And I'm getting heated, bro. Like, heated. The next day, man, Clippers, bro, they're gone. They're on vacation.
Who'd they lose to?
I don't know. I don't give a fuck. But I'm saying they're gone, right? They go on vacation. They don't care. Right? And I'm sitting here, hard-earned money that I just spent going on this vacation, and I'm pissed off because the Clippers lost.
Right.
That day, I told myself, I said, man, fuck these teams, bro. Like, I'm a fan, bro. But the
But from a
Raiders lose.
distance.
If the Raiders lose, I'm not gonna fucking
I know.
lose sleep over it. If the Clippers are not gonna win, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. You know, shit like that. So I'm a fan, yeah, but I'm not a super fan like that anymore.
Right.
You
No,
know
I
what
get
I'm
it
saying?
because they're not
It's
paying
just
our bills.
Hell
We're
no.
paying their bills.
Yeah, right.
Because you were a season ticket holder over there for a while, weren't you?
Like the Bronx Tale. You know when
Exactly.
he's
Yep.
like he's
About the
telling the
Yankees.
kid, yeah, that it's the same
Dude, that's
thing.
a good movie.
Yeah,
bro.
I love that movie.
Dude, there's so many. The door test.
Yeah, that's a good fucking movie, man.
Dude, I should have used the door test. Anyways, that's another story. Yeah, the
Yeah,
door
man.
test is
Hey,
good.
yeah,
No, there's some good nuggets on that, man.
Yeah, man, that's a great
so
movie.
you on that. Speaking of nuggets, living in this country, man, it's been crazy lately.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on now? Do you still believe that the American dream is still alive and well, or you think we need to work on some things?
I think
If you want to be an entrepreneur,
it's there. It's easier than ever. You know, social media.
definitely.
It's a lot easier than when me and you were growing up.
For sure.
You know, someone can just, you know, go on fucking TikTok and start making TikTok videos of some dumb shit, and they're gonna get, you know, they're gonna start making money, whatever. Like, it's so much easier now.
Right.
But again, you have to find that gift. Like you know, you find that gift, and then you utilize these tools, right, from social media to be able to help you to make money.
Absolutely. I think anybody that if technology hasn't taught us anything, like right now, me and you're making this video, and somebody in India can watch this video right now.
Yep.
Where we don't have to pay for advertising.
Someone in India that's a fucking Dallas Cowboys fan. They're like, hell yeah.
Exactly, that's a Dallas Cowboys
fan. Does that
fan.
shit even come out in the video or no?
Well, maybe we'll have Latu do a little pop up as a trailer. Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, you're right.
No,
like,
I mean,
it could be anybody.
I think
you know,
there's no excuse, no matter what skin color you are, how tall you are, to be successful in this country. Because we can do stuff like you said.
And this is the country, like
it's the freedom,
man. Like
I know,
fuck,
I know,
like the American dream, bro. Like, you know, like look at Tony Montana, man. Like
it's the American dream. And okay, real quick, I wanted to switch this up, but I'm gonna ride you with this one. What's your biggest pet peeve now, as we get older? See, right now, you've taught us how to grind. You taught us how to be persistent. What's a pet peeve that you just, like for me, being negative? There's no way you can live this country and be a negative Nelly. To me, that's mine. What's yours?
Shit, man.
Excuse buzz, people making excuses.
Yeah, you know what? When it comes to entrepreneurship,
or anything,
it's
anything
excuses.
in life.
It's excuses, bro. Like, and I know you hit me up from time to time, like, hey, when are you gonna come back to the gym? And I'm like, I give you an excuse.
You give me a lot of excuses.
I give you an excuse.
A lot.
And then the next week I give you a different one.
You told me you were gonna come in last week and you didn't come in. And now you told me you're gonna come in tomorrow. I'm saying just like you said, I'm almost numb to it. Like you're numb to your Clippers, I'm numb to you saying you're gonna come in.
What's gonna happen when I do? Are you gonna change?
Dude, you know what we're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do?
Hey,
no, I'm gonna tell you. No, let me finish. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. When you come in, just like when you got out of the hospital, I'm gonna have everybody in class do this. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Okay, but
just like when you got out of the hospital.
Can we play? Can we play some Tupac?
Sure.
Can we play some Ice Cube?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we play like
Latu, do we play a lot of Ice Cube in here?
Come on, man. Hey, you don't have to agree with him, bro. Like
Latu, go keep it real. We play a lot of Ice Cube. Just come in here and you'll find out. Right. How about you find out? You show up and find out.
I gotta find out.
Because we don't want you having another episode like you did a couple years ago. I want you to
help. Hell yeah. 100%.
And let me tell you something, Ness. When you put your mind to something, you focus on it. You dropped like what, 25 pounds in like that summer? Last summer?
Yeah, like,
it was
like a
consistency.
Like
you were
6 months.
knocking it out, man. You were eating around. You come in after every class. You dragged me into that bathroom to weigh you.
Yeah,
you kept yourself accountable. I kept you accountable. So when you put your mind to it, man, I see it.
I know.
We just got to get you back on track.
I know, and that's how I am. Like once I jump into something, that's how I am.
Okay, well, dude, you're talking shit about my Cowboys. I'm gonna talk shit about you getting in here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get in here tomorrow. Or Tuesday. Latu teaches on Wednesday, 5 o'clock. We'll take it together right there in that corner. I'll save a bag for you.
Okay, but what about tomorrow?
Let's go tomorrow. I'm teaching.
Oh, okay.
Latu will be here taking it too. And
You
we,
gonna be here?
we got the defibrillator. You know, we've got whatever we need. If you pass out on us, I got you, bro.
Damn,
I
like
got
that?
clear. You know, I got you, man.
Okay, and then we're gonna listen to a little bit of Tupac.
Yes,
And
I'll
Ice
find it
Cube
for you. I
and
got it.
fucking, cause you know, like I remember you posted a video of me doing like the ropes or something.
Yeah.
And it was you were playing Britney Spears or some
Okay,
shit
now,
in the
dude,
back.
that's old.
Or
You got to
like-
come up with something new.
No.
Saying that
Yeah, but
for-
remember you
and
said
everybody's
no,
like,
hold
come
on.
on, some new.
No, but remember you said some of these people don't even know me.
Right.
They're gonna be like, who is this dude, right? So I'm gonna tell them like I haven't been in
So
here.
you couldn't tag
This
me
is
on that?
Huh?
You couldn't tag me on that video
What do you mean?
when I played Britney Spears. Is that what you're saying?
No, I did tag you on it, but everybody was making fun of me because they're like, "Yo, what kind of class is that? You're going to a boxing class and your boy's playing Britney Spears." I don't care about like tagging you's not the issue. Like the issue was my people were hitting me up like, "Bro, like what kind of fucking class is that? You know, like is that Zumba?" Like, come
You're
on,
right.
man.
Well, you know, people used to remember you when you used to come. Now, when you come in here, they ain't gonna recognize you because you ain't been here in a while.
Well,
So let's do this tomorrow, and I'll play Tupac for you.
It's all good.
Yeah,
Like,
all right.
It's all about
yeah. It's on camera now. I too, you're my. Let's do it. Okay.
All right, man. Shit.
All right, guys, we're wrapping it up, but I always like to end the podcast on if we could turn the clock back with everything. If you were 18, Ness, what would you tell your 18-year-old self? And you can take as much time to answer this question. Take your time.
No, I know it.
Okay.
It'd be to listen. A lot of times, you know, especially at that age, we're an adult, but we're not fully, our brain is not fully developed yet. And we think we're on top of the world. Can nobody tell us nothing? And you've got important people, you got family, you got your parents, you got, you know, aunts, uncles, like just people in general older than you trying to tell you like, hey, you're becoming a man now. You know, think about this for the future. And you just, yeah. You know, so I think for me, it would be to, I would have listened more. You know, I would tell myself to listen more.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's important. Same with me. I think because when you asked me that and when I did your podcast, I thought about that. Listening. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So the last one of the night, how do you want to be remembered? Ness?
You know what, man? I as the greatest t-shirt designer in the fucking world.
Okay.
That's how I want to be.
No, that doesn't
I'm just
surprise
fucking
me.
kidding you guys, man. Trust me, like when I tell you guys I put in work, I've put in work. I have over 1,500 different pieces of art, you know, and at some point what I want to do is I want to sell it. I want to sell my brand to a bigger brand so they can multiply in 10 times what I'm doing. That way it allows me to retire. But I put in this work for that reason. But yeah, I just, you know, I want people to remember me as a loyal person, as a good person, as a good friend.
Love you, bro. I mean that. Hey, seriously, thank you for coming, bro.
No doubt, man. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we'll let you know when this gets up. It'll be on YouTube, and we're going to try to get it on some other platforms. But we hope that this episode helped you guys out, because at the end of the day, guys, going back to what Ness was saying about everybody has a gift, and we really want to give you guys little wisdom nuggets to help you guys out. So we're signing off to the next episode. We'll be in touch. Have a great day, guys. God bless. Hey guys, I just want to jump on here and just let you guys know we had some issues with the ending of the podcast, so we had to cut the podcast short. Just some audio issues that we had, so I just want to jump on here, guys, and let you guys know that we apologize for that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, that podcast was great. Ness Hernandez, thank you so much for coming in. I can't wait to have you on there again. So guys, be looking forward to the next episode 4 coming soon. Thank you for all your support, guys. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.